So I'm making a co-op prison escape game, but there's one major problem. There's no tools, there's no escape routes, and there's no prison. That's actually 3 things, but they are all problems. So with the character controller and inventory system that I implemented in the last devlog, it's time to start adding some actual game mechanics. Fun stuff like bombs, security cameras, destruction, and even... So first, obviously, I need a prison if I'm gonna make any tools that you could use to escape from it. So I drew up a design on paper, made a list of different escape routes and puzzle ideas. Once I was happy with the layout, I went ahead and downloaded some assets to build out and finish some more of the environments, as well as stylized a bunch of the assets with like new textures so that it all feels more cuff-busty. All right, so great. Now there's an environment. That's cool and all, but we still can't do anything. This is still just a walking simulator. And before I can actually add any of the cool stuff like the bombs and the... I'm excited for you guys to see this. Before I do that, I gotta add an item system. Problem is, slight problem. In my entire decade of making games, I've never actually done that before. So I started by trying to make it so that the arm of the player follows the direction that the camera is facing, which was insanely broken. Sometimes the arms would rotate in the wrong direction. Sometimes it would just stretch out. Sometimes half of the player would just get like sucked into a black hole. It's like I don't even know where their body ended up. It's just somewhere. Finally, eventually got it working, which allowed me to start working on adding the actual items. Started by adding a spoon. This spoon just decided to become comically large, like Empire State Building large. And then in the process of trying to fix the comically large spoon, the arm just became like all long and stretchy and it would just like follow you around. So again, I spent hours tweaking stuff back and forth, trying to get everything balanced, and eventually I did. So hey, hooray. Now, instead of having a walking simulator, I have a holding spoon in prison simulator. Bruh. Wow, look at this. I just, for the first time, made an item system where you can smack stuff. So with that item done, it was time to add the next item on the list, which is pipe bombs, specifically. Check your mailbox. But real quick before I add those bombs, I got some funny news that I think you guys are gonna really like. So in the last devlog, I was working on adding a system that randomly generates server names. And I asked you guys for your suggestions for server names so that I could add a bunch of them into the game. So yesterday, I went and picked a bunch to add, and some of the suggestions you guys had were a little wild. I'm here looking for some server name suggestions. Violates the Geneva Convention. That's pretty nice. Is getting freaky. Sure. Why not? Has leaked your search history. Is alone at night. Blank, you are the father. That's great. I'm gonna put this one in because inevitably people are gonna join in and they're gonna like demand the host to say yippee. That's a great one. Hey guys, be sure to subscribe to 2-Star for more epic devlogs and stuff like that. Stolen your kneecaps. Trying to ignore the voices. Deserves actual jail time. So I ended up adding 100 new server names off of your guys' suggestions, and the full list of the names that I added are in the description of this video. So take a look and see if any of your ideas got picked. But if you didn't have any of your ideas get picked, be sure to stick around till later in the video because I do have some other features that I need some of your ideas for. All right, so we still need to take this from being a smacking things with spoon simulator to an actual prison break game. So I made the bomb model and I started working on an aiming indicator, which took a little bit of time to get right. And then I made it so you can actually throw the bombs, which kind of worked at first until they started just kind of like walking around on their own. So once I got that working, I made it so the bombs actually explode and knock back the player. At first, the knockback was maybe a little bit intense. Prepare to freaking die, bro. Yeah. But with the bombs working now, it was time to actually add destruction so that I could blow things up. So I added a new destruction system that allows different types of objects to be destroyed with different items. So there's different material types like wood and plastic and metal and strong metal, and certain objects, certain tools like bombs, for example, they can blow up basically anything. But something like a spoon could maybe only break wood or plastic. And also the entire environment isn't destructible. It's mostly just for like tables, chairs, crates, and boxes that have items inside of them. Like if you destroy a crate, there's a chance that you might find a key card, and and that'll let you access off-limits areas through like certain sliding doors. Speaking of keys, I actually hid 10 Steam keys for Cuff Bust throughout this video. So if you're the first person to find one and redeem it on Steam, then you'll get the game for free when it releases. And that's something that I do on all of my devlogs, so be sure to subscribe. Hey, turn on the notifications, try and get here quick next time. Give me views. So since I already built a throwing system for the bombs, I was now able to add a new throwable item, which is the soap bar. The soap bars can be found in the showers and bathroom areas of the prison, and then when you throw them, it'll create a puddle of soap, which is super slippery, and if somebody gets slipped on the soap, then they just kind of get stunned for a few seconds. Except if you were to crouch walk through the soap. If you crouch walk, then you're fine. So next, I started working on the security room with the intercom and security camera system. First up was the intercom, and the idea here is that you can go in, you can use the intercom, and you can basically project your voice across all the loudspeakers around the entire prison. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of fun stuff you could do with that, and it's one of my favorite features in the game. Next, I added the security camera system, practically turning this into Five Nights at Jailians. There's one screen that shows the camera feed, and then there's another screen that shows a map of the prison. And on there, it'll show if there's any motion detected by the cameras, and you could swap the cameras to like spy on your friends. And now for possibly my favorite mechanic. I know I just said that the intercom was pretty awesome, but special lettuce. So I modeled up a fat roll, added some smoke effects, and made a red eye overlay. I put in a bunch of different effects to make it ultra realistic. And the more you smoke, the more intense the effects get. So with that in, I added some chairs as well, so you could like, you know, take a seat and like catch your breath after smoking heavily. That accidentally just like kind of enabled like fly hacks. Yeah, the whole chair thing was a little more complicated to implement than I was expecting. I also added a cake item that can hide other random tools. If you pick up a cake and you throw it, it'll splat on whatever wall or whatever object it hits. It has a chance that an item will fall out, maybe a screwdriver or saw blade, something like that. And also it sticks to things. So like, let's say your friends are watching you up on the camera and like taunting you over the intercom, and you don't want them to see what you're doing, whatever you might be doing. You could take a cake, throw it at the camera lens, and it'll just stick onto the camera, and then they can't see you anymore. I made exploding destructible toilets. I also added vents that you can crawl through to get to like different off-limits areas of the prison. So, you know, if you find a screwdriver and a cake, for example, you can take that and remove the screws off of the vent. Or if you've got like a bomb, then you could just blow up the vent. That would work too. And then like I mentioned before, I do need some suggestions for some new tool types, but I've got a specific type of tool that I need. And real quick before I mention what that is, I just want to let you know that you can wishlist Cuff Bust on Steam to be notified when it actually releases. Cuff Bust literally just became the 242nd most wishlisted game on Steam. And once we hit the top 200, I'm going to be giving away a bunch of extra Steam keys in a video. Link is in the description. Go wishlist. It would mean the world to me. So the suggestions that I need from you guys are for prison-themed melee weapons. Right now, we just got the spoon, and we gotta have some more weapons than that. So let me know in the comments, and I'll add maybe 3 or 4 of them in the next video. So be sure to subscribe to see if you get picked, and I'll see you in the next video.